YouTube family, we want to welcome y'all back to our MMA podcast. We're here with some very important guests. We're at that point in our league where it's the All-Star break, and now we have the top three vote getters. Number one place was Austin. Number two was Brandon, BG. And this man made history, y'all. As a reserve, he came in third place voting for All-Star, Yodi. So we're going to jump right into it.
Crazy.
Yo, we in it. It's
up, family?
crazy. I'm stuffing my face, right? And I'm over here sitting here thinking about how the fact that Yo actually got that many All-Star votes. Well deserved, bro.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
I definitely appreciate it.
Man,
Yeah.
you've been balling out. Like you took that, John. You ain't it's not like no pity votes. You balling out. Hands
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
It
So
goes to show what IQ would do, man.
yeah, and I'll jump
Hard.
out there with the first question, before we get into the vote or the selections, and it's the yoke. So how do you, because you've been playing amazing, whenever you're asked to play, but you got to think about it. Your role changes every time you play. You got to play with different personalities. Like how do you do that, and how do you prepare for the game going in, as far as like knowing what your role is going to be and what the team needs?
Well, first, one thing I know, anytime that you reserve for a team, one thing that they're gonna always need is defense. So that doesn't change from role to role. On the offensive side, you just kind of got to talk with the captain, see what that's usually the question I ask. What exactly do y'all need from me? And they just say spot up, do what you do, you know, things of that nature. But I always find comfort on the defensive side, so I make sure that that's what I start with first, and then I'm told by the captain what needs to be provided on offense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm a piggyback kind of off of that. So my question for you, I believe you reserved for literally every team at this point, right?
I think everybody except for B Ross team.
Okay. So four teams you reserved for. Um, I'm not asking like which team you felt was the best or anything like that, but like which team, I guess two things. Like which team, number one, do you feel like it was just the easiest for you to fit in with, like right away? And
Man,
then
go ahead. You got a
um
second part to it?
yeah, well, you can get on that, and I'll ask the second question. So, which team did you feel like you could like you mesh with, or it was easy for you to fit in with
I
the
tell you,
most?
it's a two-part answer. The first answer will be straightforward. It'll be the Pirates, believe it or not, with James, Hunter, Ryan, and Lou. Just because how could I think like I heard y'all commentary on the last game that the Pirates had, and y'all was saying how James was trying to find that balance between facilitating and scoring. I feel like when I was playing for them, I was able to offset the scoring part of his game to the point where all he had to do is really facilitate. And with me scoring, and you got Ryan and Hunter being able to knock down shots, and then Lou, does what he do on defense. It all just mesh. I thought their defensive rotation was great. I think they're the only team that runs a 3-2. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but they've been the only team so far that runs a 3-2, and
He's dropping tapes. He's dropping tapes.
but you can find that on, like, if y'all have the recorded games, y'all can see them running a 3-2,
Definitely.
and they run it pretty efficiently. You got to have the right people to rotate and know when to rotate. But when I was playing for them, I thought their rotation was great. But yeah, I would say if I had to like say a team that I felt the most comfortable with, it'll probably be the Pirates. Now the Ball Hogs is really good too, but I feel like when me and Austin was playing with the Ball Hogs, I felt like we was the backbone. And this is no offense to the other three players, JP, Division, or Miami, but I felt like me and Austin was like the backbone of it. It's either we succeed or the team don't, or the team will fail. So like defensively, we both was averaging the same amount of steals. Offensively, we was knocking down the same amount of shots, or however you want. Obviously, he's leading the team, but it was just like, man, it's either me and him, or this team is probably gonna fail. And I'm just being completely honest. And now they got Tyler, so that should kind of help with the scoring and all that. But I do feel like that team. I was thinking a lot. I was thinking a lot playing for the Ball Hogs, whereas on the Pirates, I wasn't really thinking that much. I just kind of fit right in.
Okay, that's a good take. And the second part of my question for you, and we appreciate the honesty too. That's a good take. The second part of my question was like, which team, like communication wise, when you've been in the chats, so which team do you feel like had the best communication, or like they just had a simple system, like something like that, like something where it was just, and I know this is kind of like a second part of that first question, but it's like which team made it the easiest for you, like with the communication and the way they were running things?
Truth be told, I feel like your team, I think Chasers, they didn't really need me. I think they just needed an extra body, which is fine. But I feel like, I mean, the game that I reserved for y'all could have won that easily without my contributions. So though I felt like the communication was there, I don't think it was even really needed. Everybody was just flowing effortlessly. So y'all was able to get buckets, get turnovers, and all of that without really having a huge emphasis on communication. Sometimes things go without saying when things are working really well. I would say the team that was conflicted in their communication the most might have been the Bad Boys, only because it was kind of hard to identify what the issue was. And I'm only referring to the game that I reserved for them against. I can't remember. You might remember who that was that I helped reserve against.
It was the Ball Hogs.
Ball Hogs. Yeah, we couldn't really figure out exactly what the problem was. And I think that was the issue with the communication, is because you can communicate, but you got to know what you're communicating about. Like, what we're going to talk about. I mean, what do we see that we can talk about? And for the first time, or the very few times, I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know what was the problem. So that was probably the most confusing and most conflicting instance where communication, I don't know if it would have helped at all, but we weren't able to communicate like I think we could.
Okay. See, this felt like almost like a behind the scenes look, and kind of like the closest thing we're going to get to having a player mic'd up. So I appreciate the perspective there.
Yeah, it's interesting though. I will say that every team is different. every team operates differently, and they all approach the game differently as well. So I think that's a unique aspect of the league.
Well, yeah, it's. Go ahead, Sid.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump out there and ask the question that everybody wants to know. This is you got BG, who's a captain, Austin, who is a franchise player for an organization, and George, who is the star player, the all-star, I want to say the sole all-star on his team as well. So these guys want to know. I'm a captain. I want to know, are we expecting a Yote full-time roster appearance in season 2?
More than likely, yes. I would say that. I just think this season I was more so I started a new business, so I try to make myself available as much as possible for that. But I'm getting to a point where I'm able to hit a stride, so I don't think being available will be the same issue that I have with season 2. So more than likely I will. I don't see why not.
Man, y'all hear that? This is an MMA pod hot take. Like, you hear it fresh right here.
So is that also a part of the reason why you I guess refused the offer to go full time this year when it was asked because of Kyle injury?
Yeah. I would have loved to join the Ball Hogs, man, but at the time, like, I got to stick to my guns, man, because I know my schedule is very volatile, and I hate to commit. Because one thing about me, if I commit to a team, I want to make sure that I'm there. I ain't trying to be like, get a reserve. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Just because of how unpredictable my schedule is. I rather just, reserve and let someone else who can commit full time.
So basically, we don't have to wait for the off season for the LeBron decision, because I ain't gonna lie, with who's out there, everybody that's available as of right now, everybody and this is a breakdown of how it's going to work too. Free agency is franchise players have a player option to stay with their team or to enter free agency. second round picks have a team option. So of course the team captain gets to decide whether that player is staying with the team or not. The third and fourth round picks will then enter free agency along with any franchise players that decide to opt out, and also any incoming reserves that are going full time, such as yourself. So now, you kind of, depending on which franchise players stay at home or decide to enter free agency, you're potentially looking at, you being the cream of the crop as far as the free agents. So it's kind of cool. We just found out early. We don't got to wait for the decision. The decision's made.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I try not to take over the spotlight, man, because I know there's a lot of guys that can hoop. I mean, people that will make you sit up in your chair. So it'd be hard for me to agree, but I mean, I'm honored. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
So, and I guess we got the questions answered. Now, kind of transitioning a little bit. So, this pod is for the All-Star draft selection. And we know, Aus is going to have the first pick. I'm going to have the second. You're going to have the third, and then it's going to be a snake draft. So you'll get the fourth pick, and I get the fifth, and Aus will get the final pick. Now, I don't know if anybody was watching. I know at least said seen it. I believe Yoke scrolled back, and we had some action today in the the All-Star Votes channel.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get right into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was our MMA Twitter, NBA Twitter day. Aus was coming at my guy, and I had to let it be known, like, listen, Aus, against my guy, you ain't doing what you're doing against everybody else. So, and I know you over there, you cooking, you doing your thing, but I'm just let you know, like, we coming for you. And y'all 0-2 against us, but I'm not gonna pull no punches. We coming for you. Like, you on one of the ones that is the top of our list. We coming for you. So, I just want to know how you feeling, my guy.
I think I just was stating the fact. He called out a personal matchup. I said it was a team effort. So if he wants a personal matchup, he can have it. You just gotta commit to staying out the way.
I like that.
Hey, man, listen. Like I said, I ain't staying out the way. I'm my teammate's keeper.
So you don't trust him as a good enough defender to stay out the way, is what I'm hearing. Got you. Understood.
Oh, this is what we doing. No, I trust him as the head of the snake. He cuts off the head of the snake on our defense. That's what he does. And I'm just there to hold down the back line just in case. And when I'm there, I look at myself.
It's a whole lot of just in cases.
Hey, that's what you do. That's what you do.
It was trying to twist around. I just want to be known. I never claimed to be some defensive guy. When he was trying to mention his points, he was the one that was calling it out.
Yeah.
So,
well, and just put some context for the people who may not be in the chat. So let's put some context to it. So, actually, Captain Brandon Grimes, BG, was the one who actually brought up the 7 points or less, or 8 points or less, and myself, I didn't know this was the case. So I was like, hey, is this true? And then I actually got evidence.
But the box score says one thing. Pull up the rest of the box score and you'll see how many, or watch the game. My teammates get a lot of shots in them games because of the amount of focus I'm getting. It's not me, not for the lack of trying to get a bucket, but I got 2-3 people around me. It'd be dumb for me to go up with a shot. So I'm swinging it out. So I don't know. It ain't no. I mean, the box score says Clamp, but if you actually watch, it's a little bit different.
I'm gonna go out on this limb and counterpoint that and just say that in both of those games, the last couple minutes, somebody may or may not have gotten some garbage time buckets, so their score might have been even lower than 8 points. I ain't gonna name any names, but
am I playing to what the defense is giving me? Yes or no?
Oh no, absolutely, and I will 100%. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like Aus isn't a top tier player, and we are 100% like is stop Aus. You know what I mean? Like, we're all in on stop Aus. It's not going to be, if, ands, or buts about that. Aus is a great player. It's like, if you're playing against, I guess, LeBron and the Cavs with Kyrie, do you want to stop Kyrie or do you want to try to slow Bron down? Now, some people might say, oh, let's slow down Kyrie because we can't slow down Bron. But for us, it's kind of, if we can slow down Aus and if we can make him have to do things that he doesn't want to do, then the rest of their team is going to have to step up. And as of right now, I don't think the rest of the team is going to step up enough for them to beat us. That's just, it is what it is.
You said it earlier, that Austin is the backbone. He's the engine that runs, that runs the show. And if
absolutely,
before they got even Yodi or who's their new pickup?
Tyler.
Who was you use a Bron Kyrie who was Kyrie?
They didn't. If you're being honest, they didn't have one.
No. It was more Bron and Nilgauskas.
Right? Who was like
exactly?
And
I mean, wait a minute. Hold on. JP in the first 2 games, didn't he have like 17 and 18 points and stuff?
I think he had 17 the first game, but I don't remember much after that.
Because from the early looks, I do remember he had 17 that first game. The early looks, I really thought JP was going to be in the running for Offensive Player of the Year. And it wasn't even necessarily that I was thinking that he was going to be a better scorer than like Austin or somebody on a different team.
But
I just thought
to Austin's point though. Why did JP have 17 points?
And that's what I was getting to.
Because there was 2-3 people focused on him, and he made the right read, and JP had open shots.
Yep, and that's what I thought JP was going to thrive in this season and get that offensive player because Aus was going to demand so much attention. And then even if I'm being honest, Division does demand its attention because he's freaking 7'3", So I thought JP was going to thrive.
He's huge. Hey, if I can rewind just a little bit, I want to highlight Renzo a little bit because, we brought up, the conversation that was going on earlier. And the conversation was about, Renzo's defense and how he was able to just make it difficult. And that's all you want to do. I mean, let's be honest, it's going to be very hard to stop Austin because of all the various ways that he can score the ball, but make it tough for him, right? So I'm gonna ask George because George is also a point guard that plays defense as well. When you're going up against Renzo, how do you feel about his defense? Do you feel like he's one of the top guard defenders in the league at this moment?
I think he's a good defender, but here's what's happening. I can only speak for my team when we played them. Every time you get past him, which is not like, you feel me? It ain't the easy or like the toughest thing to do. But once you get past him, there's always 2-3 people watching. So it's not like Nick and BG know this for a fact. I watch games. Him and Emwa are legit leaving people and sitting in the paint. Like, and this is no shot to any of my teammates. This is no shot to B Ross. But we had I've created 14 wide open looks for Ross, and he was an offer. So at that point, it makes what's his name look like he's playing some type of out of this world defense when you got to now start taking shots that you aren't the smartest shot because nobody else is hitting on your team, and now you're getting people blitzing you off picks because they know someone else is not going to be able to make a bucket off the dribble or whatever. So he's a good defender, but their team defense is what's really getting it done. It's not like an individual thing. Like, he's not no prom quad or any of that. Like, it's a team system defense that's getting the job done.
Gotcha. So BG for DPOY then. I got it.
I mean, their whole team for DPOY. They know how to game plan. They know how to.
Best defense in the league. I agree.
Other teams just gotta make them pay because their game plan is leave everyone else and make whoever the top dudes, top scorer, top assist man beat us. Like, that's their game plan.
Yeah.
And I'm a slide in there, just give it a little, nuance to that. What I think when I look at Renzo, and I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. He does what George does. Like, and I've told him that. I was like, you and G are all practically the same player in my eyes. Renzo picks people up 94 feet. And despite, I mean, 2K is a little different than real life. Real life, you're gonna wear a player down. 2K though, that 94 feet does have an impact because you got to use up some of your stamina bar, possibly some of the stamina meters too. And he's picking people up 94 feet. Then like specifically against Austin, and this is not the game plan secret. We know that like division speed isn't the highest. So if you're pressuring Austin and he has to wait for division to get up the court, that to me is something that's one of those little things that may not go noticed because Renzo, for example, he doesn't get a lot of steals. Like he's not averaging, Yote's averaging 5 steals a game. I think Leak is averaging like 3 or 4 steals a game. Renzo's not getting like a ton of steals, but he's making the point guard have to like shield the ball as they're coming up the court. And I think that to me, like what Renzo and George do, that's super valuable. Like that gets to me, that flies under the radar as far as defense. Just my thoughts.
So, I mean, unless there's more questions, guys, I mean, how about we get into this thing?
I got a question for you, Sid, but before we get into it, man, what are your thoughts on the Bad Boys right now? Because I could imagine as a captain, you probably expected a little bit more. Because I remember practicing with y'all before the season started, and man, y'all look like y'all was a well-oiled machine. Y'all look like y'all might have could have even went undefeated. But to see where y'all at now, how do you feel?
Growth pains. I think that we did come out. I personally with the team that I was able to draft. We came out. I definitely thought we would have had a better start. We lost a couple of games earlier on, at least the first 2 games where we just needed to make some adjustments, and we're going to make those adjustments and try to right those wrongs in the next coming weeks. And so as far as then we had a little rough patch as well internally, but we're past that now, and I think everybody's kind of locked in and ready to finish strong. We halfway there. We're 2-4. We got 6 more games, and 2 of those games is going to be against the top team in the league. So we have little room for error. And we know that.
Gotcha. BG, I got a question for you as well. I actually got a question for BG and Austin, but BG first. Are you surprised that you got voted, like you got the most All-Star votes? Are you surprised at the recognition? Do you think people would have overlooked you? How does that feel?
That's a good question. I guess I will say I'm kind of surprised. I don't play, like when I'm playing on the team, I don't really play for like stats and for recognition. I'm doing it for the team wins. Like even little stuff that I try to do, like get an offensive rebound and kick it out instead of going up with it. So I appreciate it. I really do. It's cool. It's cool to be recognized by your peers and stuff like that. And I don't know. I wasn't really expecting it. I'm just kind of going with it, and I'm just happy to be able to be part of a team that's very successful. Like that's my biggest focus. So the accolades and whatever, to me, they don't mean anything. And I mean this, like I'm trying to get this ring. So I done been to the finals twice, and I'm trying to get a ring now. So everything else that comes with it, if I get an award, I get it. If I don't, I don't. But I will say this, I do make it a goal for the other teams to at least feel my impact and know that I was there. So, if that gets recognized, I appreciate it.
That's dope. Last question, and we can get started. Austin, man, you remind me of me when I played with JP on the Switch Guys. I don't know if you remember that team, but yeah, the other guys probably remember Switch Guys when it was me and JP hooping side by side. It's kind of like captain, co-captain type thing. So when I see Austin, when I see you on Ball Hogs, it reminds me of that same situation. Now, because it reminds me of that same situation, this is the question I have for you. Do JP make your job easier or harder?
I don't think he's made it any harder. I don't know how it was with you.
It was harder,
but
for me, it was harder.
And it was one of the worries I had going into the season, but I was going to see how it went. And I will say, I think he's accepted the role of being off ball, which definitely makes it easier as a point guard. Not, knowing, and for the team in general, knowing everybody's role and kind of sticking with it.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, I would say it's easier. What's hard is doing the averages and seeing the shooting percentage, but we're working on that. So
Gotcha. Only reason I asked that question and the only reason why I say it was harder for me on the Switch guys, because man, I know JP, he feels that he is capable just like everybody else, and he like to have his shots. Whether you win or losing, JP want to be able to participate. He want to be able to contribute. He don't want to just sit to the side, which is fine. But that does come a time within the season where, you got to establish leader, and whoever that leader is, you got to be able to follow him through the ups and downs. And sometimes, how can I put this? Because I don't want to sound like, I don't want to sound rude, but unfortunately, everyone can't be a leader. Everyone can't be the one to lead the charge. I remember hearing a great military saying where it said, if you got two leaders, everybody dead. Because not everybody divided. They don't know who to follow. They don't know who voice to follow. So that's the reason I was asking.
That even goes, that goes with everything. There's two pilots in a plane. One's the main, one is the co-pilot. They both know how to fly the plane, but one got to take a back seat and let the other take the lead. So that's with everything in life, bro.
Everybody has to
and I'll say I think 2K23 humbled JP a little bit in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just because he struggled, he wasn't able to adapt to that game. So I think coming to this one, it might have humbled that a little bit with his viewpoint. And also real quick before these picks start, I want to think, as you were talking about the teams you play for, I think I speak for everybody on the Ball Hogs that we thank you for those 4 games you reserved for us. Definitely helped us get them wins.
It sound like a recruiting plug, bro.
And because we talked about him a bit, and we talked about BG. I think in my rankings, I have had Ben Renzo as MVP. So while it is friendly competition, it's no disrespect between the 2 point guards. It's just friendly competition.
Yes, sir. And I can speak for my guy. In my talks with him, he got a tremendous amount of respect for you too, Us. He's trying to, wants to be a friendly rivalry because he respects you, but he's got you like top tier, no question about it. So it is a mutual respect there. But let's get into this.
Let's get to it. Yeah.
Said you want to announce the person that the addition, was Renzo in the addition. If you want to explain what's going on there.
Oh, yeah. So first, the people who don't know, so Austin, BG, and Yoke, they were the top vote getters. The way our all-star selection went was, the entire league voted. These 3 were the top vote getters. So Austin, being the top vote getter, will have the number 1 pick. BG will have the number 2 pick. And then Yodi will have the number 3 pick, and we're doing a snake draft. So then Yodi will have the first pick in the second round. And then throughout the votes, we one of our vote getters, or one of our all-stars rather, they're not going to be able to participate in the all-star festivities. So that's Ben Renzo, the point guard for BG's team, the Dream Chasers. So he is going to be replaced by Wayne Philly Baller from the small forward from the Crusaders. So congratulations to Wayne. Definitely happy for him. He's been balling out 13 points a game, 13 and a half points per game. And definitely a catalyst for the winning that they're doing. So congrats to him. So without further ado, Austin, the floor is yours. You have the number 1 pick in the All-Star game selection. And we are, and once again, for the people who don't know, this game will be done 3v3 style. So 3v3 style.
Yes, sir. So I will say, for other reasons besides just not letting him get continuity even more so with BG. Ben Renzo was going to be the number 1 overall pick. But because of alleged family things this weekend, that's not going to be able to happen. So because of the format, and we've been cooking up a little bit, I'm going to go with G Money as the first overall pick for this All-Star draft.
Wow. Wow. Okay. I gotta respect it. I had I was thinking about taking George. I ain't gonna lie. But I'm gonna pull up. I got this Meat Mill levels instrumental playing. And I don't know if y'all can hear it through the mic, but for me, for my pick, I'm gonna have to go with a guy that I feel is definitely a top tier player in this league. And also I'm playing the big man position. I need somebody that's gonna, I need somebody to handle the ball. And I also think that because I'm a defensive guy, I know it's an all-star game. I know we're gonna be throwing lobs and all that stuff, but I appreciate defense. So for my pick, the number 2 pick, I'm gonna take my guy Ace, Jalen, and we're gonna do some things in this all-star.
I'm gonna hold you. When you was mentioning no defense, I didn't think you was going that direction.
Caught me by surprise. For sure. Now I'm having a problem finding a list of all-stars, but I think I remember at least the 2 that I had in mind anyway.
You want a refresher before you make your pick just in case?
Yeah, what's the list?
So it's we had of course they're already picked, but Ace, George, Chris, Robbie, Division, and there's one more person, and Wayne.
Okay, was Robbie in there?
Yes, sir, he's in there.
All right, well, I'm not gonna hold you guys up. I'm gonna go with Robbie. I'm gonna pick Robbie on the 3rd pick.
Solid. I think Robbie got the the all-star type of game, like especially in the 3v3. That's what
Crazy.
the folks want to see. I think Robbie's going to, get some people out their chairs, like you said earlier. So that's a good pick there.
And I'm starting off with the 1st pick in the 2nd round.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me think.
This is going to be an interesting pick. Gotta go small forward, power forward type deal.
I'm going with I mean, we ain't got that many choices. I'm gonna go with Chris.
Okay. Chris, that's a good pick.
Chris gonna have something to say, not going in the 1st round. Can't wait to hear.
I mean, it could have went either way. I could have picked Chris and then Robbie, but he ain't last.
Yeah. Even look, we talking about all stars here.
You ain't first, you last.
And listen, bro, it don't even matter who's last. We talking about all stars here. This is the cream of the crop right now. So, that being said, I might do something different. I'm gonna take my guy Wayne. I need a bucket. We're gonna get us a bucket. That's what we're going with. So it'll be I'm gonna welcome Wayne to the squad with me and Ace. And let's get this all-star dub.
Well, guess that keeps the teammates together.
Yeah.
Now, so division, that means we're talking about division there. Division will be playing with us. The funny thing is, I was going to you know how Giannis took his boy Chris Middleton, like I think the first pick in the 2nd round with the, or of the non-voted guys or whatever, when they were still doing the NBA draft style. So I was going to ask, like, you think a teammate take it some kind of way if you don't, if his teammate don't pick him in the all-star team?
I think so.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, not me. I would. It depends on who we pick first, though. You know, if if I knew that this player was going to be able to provide, you know, what we and let's say for instance, the next year, Giannis picked Dame Lillard first instead of picking Chris Middleton or Drew
Mhm.
Holiday. I think it was Drew Holiday. That was smart, you know, because
Mhm.
I mean, come on, man. If it's my All-Star game, it's Dame Lillard. So I mean, if I'm Drew, I'm not. No way. Come on now, it's Dame. It's Dame.
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
just because let's recap it real quick. So BG, you are going to be playing beside Ace and Wayne.
Yes,
Ace,
sir. Yes, sir.
my point guard, one of the best point guards in the league. BG, one of the top bigs in the league, and Wayne, one of the top bucket getters in the league. That's really tough squad, man. Good picking there. Austin, he selected George, one of the top point guards in the league as well. Float game on 1,000. Austin, a certified bucket getter, and division will clog up any hole that he needs to. And Yoti, if you could recap yours,
Here's Paul.
I missed your
I got
That
Robbie
was-
and Chris.
Yeah, that was a big pause. That
and
was a
so
big
this
pause.
was, I mean, man, this is gonna be very balanced to me because Yote, who can run the point as well. Robbie's a certified bucket getter and one of the top scorer in the league right now, I think. And then Chris, you know, one of the best bigs. So I mean, this is gonna be awesome, man. This is gonna be fun. What are y'all thoughts? What are your let's get George. George, what's your thought?
I kind of had a feeling also was going to pick me just because we've been running threes together and we got some chemistry there. With division, we know what he does as far as like getting to that rim. All you gotta do is tap square 7-3, most likely. And the lovely part about this is it's 3v3, it's half court. We ain't gotta talk about him running up and down the court. He can just park it right in that paint, and we're gonna send everything to him. So I think we got a little squad. We'll make something happen.
Yeah. How you feeling, Yodi, with your team you was able to select?
I'm satisfied with it. I think I pretty much had the ball in my court. I could have separated Austin and division, but I missed the All-Star game. As much as I would like to win, I would like for it to be some high-flying action. I'd like for it to be fun and entertaining to watch. So that's the reason why I went the picks that I chose.
Yeah. BG?
Yeah, mine is kind of the same thing. I for a second and literally like really was thinking about going with Division and me. I just felt like it would be boring to watch. Like I thought it'd be kind of cool to have the two bigs on the same team, but I just thought it'd be boring. So I wanted to go with something I think it'll be fun and entertaining to watch. And it's the All-Star game. I'm not gonna say we're gonna throw games away, but I'm trying to have some fun. The past we played in the All-Star game was kind of boring, so I want it to be fun. I like the team I got. So, and I get to, I'm happy that Wayne. I'm gonna get a shout out real fast. I'm happy that Wayne is an All-Star, and I don't care if anybody said, what everybody says. He was the number 10 vote getter. So, and that means people still respected his play as well. So he's deserving of that spot. So I'm happy for him.
Mm-hmm. And then also, what's your thoughts? Excuse me.
Yeah, I think everything worked out pretty even. I know, like BG says, for fun and stuff like that, but we still want to win. And
Charlene.
that's the goal. We still go out there, put on a show, but get some dubs out there too.
That's right. This is the mama mentality. Yeah. So
and to double check just to make sure it's submitted bills only, correct?
Yes, sir.
Bills only. Submitted bills only.
Yep.
So fellas, All-Star game, be on the lookout for it. Those games will be posted. They'll be coming very, very, very soon to the YouTube. We got some very, very exciting teams that have been put together, as I mentioned before. Very, very balanced. At this moment, I seriously, and I'm not even just saying it, I couldn't tell you who would win this thing, because all three teams have exactly the same makeup. a dominant big, a scorer, and a guy who can play make and score. So whatever and play defense. So I mean, those are super balanced teams. So and that I guess that's what happens when you get an all-star selection. It is BG mentioned, man, everybody's an all-star. So this is the top of the top, cream of the cream. So so congratulations to the all-stars. We look forward to seeing you guys. MMA, we look forward to it. We out.